Integers are the set of all whole numbers, including 0, and their opposites. And we know a number and its opposite, when you add them together, will always give you 0. The absolute value then is the distance of a number from 0. Remember that the absolute value of a number is a distance, and you know a distance always has to be what kind of number? A distance can never be negative. It's always going to be positive. Okay? So remember when you're adding numbers, think about how you add positive numbers. When you add two positives, what kind of answer do you get? You get a positive. When you add numbers with the same sign, you're going to add the numbers and you're going to keep the sign. Whereas whenever you're adding numbers or integers that signs are different, now there's a little more work. Okay? Let's do an example of adding numbers with the same sign. Add the numbers, keep the sign. Look at this first one. 15 plus 42. You're just adding the numbers and you're keeping the signs. They're both positive, so when you add them, you're going to get 57. Okay? When the signs are different, what you're going to have to do is find the difference. What does it mean to find the difference? Or if I said the difference between your age and your brother's age, it means you would subtract the two. So you always do the larger digit minus the smaller digit. And then you're going to keep the sign of the larger one. So I know that a negative 10 is actually smaller than negative 4, okay? But this would be the larger digit that we're looking at. You always look at the digits. That's what I mean by it, okay? And let's do an example of that. So if the signs are different, let's look at 3. We have a positive 15 and we have a negative 42. What you're going to do is find the difference. So you're going to do the larger digit. 42 is larger. And you're going to take 15 from 42. And the sign of your answer is always going to be the sign of the larger number. So which number or which digit was larger? 42. What kind of sign did it have? Negative. So I know in the end, I'm going to end up with a negative answer. 42 minus 15 gets 27, so it's a negative 27. Okay, let's try 2 as well, and then you'll try the other 3. So 2, first ask yourself, is it the same sign or different signs? Same sign, so we're going to add the numbers, keep the sign. 15 plus 42 is going to be 57. They're both negative, so your answer is negative. I don't know why I'm writing a positive then, huh? Okay. Over here in this one on 4, ask yourself, same signs or different signs? This is a negative 15, and we have a positive 42. So they are different signs. You're going to find the difference. Do the larger digit minus the smaller digit, and then the sign of your answer is going to be the sign of the larger digit. 15 or 42? 42 is the larger one. So we're going to take the sign of that, meaning your answer is going to be positive. 42 minus 15 gives you 27. Your answer is positive, so it's just a positive 27. All right, pause the video here and solve 5 and 6 for me, and then press play. Okay, hopefully you solved 5 and 6. Here are your solutions, okay? So you get a negative 2,400, and then you get a negative 39. Let's evaluate some expressions with these negatives. When you're evaluating, you're substituting in what you know in algebra. So for the first one, we know C has the value of negative 15. Plug it in here. We have negative 15 plus 12 plus a negative 15 plus a negative 15. Okay, order of operations, you can just start by adding these two, then take that answer and add the next one, then take that answer and add the next one. Or we can rearrange things in math. We're allowed to rearrange with addition. It's called the commutative property, which allows you to move them around, and then you can add the ones together that you want. So I might do 12 plus, and I might do the negative 15 plus the negative 15 plus the negative 15 first. Now here in this expression, I'm adding all of the same signs, so add the numbers, keep the sign. 15 plus 15 plus 15, and then I keep the sign. Now I'm adding just the 12 plus the negative 45. Now I have different signs, so I'm going to find the difference. What's 45 minus 12, and then keep the sign of the larger digit. So which one's larger, 12 or 45? 45. So your answer is going to have a negative sign, and then you're doing 45 minus 12. What's 45 minus 12? Hopefully you got negative 33. Okay. The next evaluating one, again, we know what W is, so let's substitute it in. We have negative 81 plus a negative 26. Adding the same signs or different signs? We're adding the same signs, so we're going to sum them together, and we're going to keep the sign. Take a minute to pause the video and try this challenge, or you can come back to it at the end, okay? What is the sum of 1 plus negative 1 plus 1 plus negative 1 plus, and that pattern's going to continue on when there are 12 terms, 17 terms, and 20 terms. And then tell me a rule for when there are X terms. So this is a little challenge. I'm not going to go over it right now. You can see me if you want to talk about it at the end of class or during 7th period. Okay, but pause the video and try this. Moving on to the back then. Subtracting integers. We've gone through the addition rules. Well, with subtraction, we're actually going to change subtraction to addition, okay? But we can't just change it to addition. We have to keep the math the same. So we're going to change subtraction to adding a negative. A minus sign is equivalent to adding a negative. To subtract an integer, you're going to add its opposite. Whatever was there, you're going to change it to the opposite, to its opposite, and then you're going to change the sign of the second integer, and then you're just going to add. Now you have an addition problem. Okay, so let's try these top three here. 15 minus 42. We don't like subtraction, so let's change it to adding a negative or adding the opposite. We're going to change the subtraction to a positive, and then we always have to change the sign of the second number. So right now I see 42. I'm going to make this negative 42. Minus 42 is the same as plus a negative 42. Same signs or different signs? Different signs. I'm going to find the difference. Keep the sign of the larger digit. 42 is larger, so my answer is negative. And now I'm going to find the difference of 42 minus 15. What do you get as your answer? Hopefully you got negative 27. Okay, next one. 15 minus a negative 42. Again, we want to change that minus sign, but when I change the minus sign, I have to add its opposite. Okay, so I'm always changing the sign of the second integer too. So I'm going to have 15 plus. I change this. Now I also have to change this. This is a negative. I'm going to make it a positive. So I have 15 plus a positive 42. Now I'm just adding. Those are the same signs, so that's real easy. 57. Next one, number 3. Again, we have that subtraction. You're always changing the sign of the second integer. You're never going to change this first number, okay? So just copy that first number down. We're going to change the subtraction to addition and then change the second number. So I see a minus 15. I'm going to make that plus a negative 15. Remember that minus is the same as plus a negative. All right, now we're adding same signs or different signs? Same signs, add the numbers, keep the sign. So it's going to be negative, what's 42 plus 15? 57. Pause the video here, solve 4, 5, and 6. Show me your work, and then press play so we can go over it. All right, take a look at the work that you have here for 4. Oops, excuse me. For 4, for 5, and for 6. If you have any questions, please pause the video and take a look at it. Find where you made your mistakes, and then ask me or your teacher if you need any extra help with it. You should have negative 67, 63, and negative 25. Let's do some evaluating. I'm going to do 7, you're going to do 8 and 9. So for 7, again, we know what J is. J is negative 26, so I'm going to plug it in. 18 minus, and then I'm going to substitute in negative 26. I like to use parentheses anytime I'm substituting. So I just think it helps to look at it that way. And it will help you later on when you're doing exponents. Now we have 18 minus a negative 26. I'm going to rewrite that as adding the opposite. So 18 plus 26. Easy enough. 18 plus 26 is 44. Pause the video and try 8 and 9. Here are your answers for 8 and 9. So you show the substitution, then you have your solutions of 83 and then 15. All right, let's read over applying this, okay? Why do we need negative numbers? Because there's a lot of things in the real world that we have to show by using a negative. We're taking away, we're showing a loss. Think about money. I think that's the easiest one. Whenever you get paid, you have an increase or you're adding money. But then whenever you decide to go do fun things, like the movies or Panera, you're spending money, you're losing that money, so that's taking it away. If you ever overspend your money, your bank might cover you on that. You'll be in the negatives for a little while, but then they'll charge you a fee because you borrowed their money. So that's not a good idea. Michael opened a new bank account with a starting amount of $50. He deposited 60% of his weekly salary of $150 each week for 4 weeks. Find his account balance at the end of the 4 weeks with the withdrawals below occurring during that period. Try this one on your own first. I'm going to go over it, but pause the video, try this on your own, get your work, and then press play, and let's see if we did the same thing. Okay, so he's starting with $50. That's going to be important. That's my starting point. Okay, he's adding to that because he's depositing 60% of his weekly salary. It's $150 each week. I know each in math, I often do multiplication, okay? And when I'm finding a percent of a number, what operation do you do with of? Multiplication again. So I'm going to be adding 60% of 150 for each week. How many weeks? 4 weeks. Okay? How do we find the percent of a number? We have to multiply, but you have to multiply by the decimal form of the percent. So hopefully you did 0.6 times 150 and multiplying that by 4 as well. 0.6 of 150 is $90. So each week he's depositing $90. He does that for 4 weeks. So how much money is he depositing right there? $360. Okay? So he started with 50. Don't forget that. He's adding 360. So we have 50 plus 360. Now, what is he taking away? What did he spend money on? Well, he spent money on movies. So we're taking away the $15.95. We're also taking away the Panera. We're also taking away his cell phone bill and his gym membership. Now, you may be looking at me and thinking, why is she writing plus signs? But notice I'm taking away this whole sum. You could also have written minus $15.95, minus $10.82, minus 60, and then minus 50. You're just using the distributive property, and that's a great thing to do, okay? So hopefully you added these and subtracted these. I ended up with $273.23. All right, so now you can go on to Blended Schools and move on to your next activity after completing these notes.